Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and today I'm doing a discussion over Everstone, Discovering Ignis. Now, this was a game that was obviously delivered to me, and whenever I opened it up and I took a look at it, I was like, what is this game? I have no recollection of ever paying for this game or talking to anyone about this game. And as I was going through like my GameFound orders, it was there. So some version of me purchased this. And I was like looking it up and I was setting it up and I'm like, man, I do not remember anything about why I backed this. And usually whenever that happens, that makes me very skeptical because it's like, I'm more worried that the game's just not going to be that good, or because there was nothing in my mind that made me think like that reminded me of getting it. So after playing it and diving into the nitty-gritty, unfortunately, like, I don't think this game is bad by any means. To me, it hits that spot of kind of, it's another game. It's another resource game. Like, I was trying to get into the theme, and that wasn't really doing much for me. It's like this hybrid worker placement engine building game with some resource management. You have 3 resources, really. You have different colored gems. And you kind of build up an engine by discovering these relics. There's a bunch of relics in the game, and they're all multi-use, and this is like a pretty cool element of the game. Like, they have a caravan cost, or they have a cost to repair the relics, and you can essentially, whenever you repair them, you slot them under these 4 actions. So it kind of has this hybrid scythe action selection system where you kind of can do one of 4 actions, and then you go top to bottom and you can really ramp up these actions. You get a bunch of really cool combos. You can get caravan upgrades that give you benefits before you even do the action. And then you kind of go down, and any relics that you have repaired, they have a bottom ability. So then those slot into the specific action, columns, and then you just kind of ramp as you go along. They also have a sell cost that if you choose not to actually keep them, to place them in, you can get like a really powerful one-time ability, but then it gets discarded. As well as anytime you have to discard a relic, it has a discard cost. So you're always getting something. The interesting element of this game is that you're not trying to get victory points, you're trying to get reputation. So this has another track that basically first person to 10 reputation ends the game, and whoever has the most by equal number of turns wins. And there's a number of ways to get reputation. There's global achievements, so you've seen that in Dead Reckoning, or you've seen it in Scythe, where it's like, hey, here are these main objectives that if you complete them, then you'll take an influence token, place it on there, and that will get you a reputation. There's also relic cards that whenever you have them slotted underneath a certain column, and you do that, like this one requires 5 blue gems to then take one of your influence tokens, place it on there, and it's like, boom, now I got a reputation point. There are influence tracks that you can go up, that if you go up to the max, you take that track and you lock it in a spot, that gets you reputation. Here's kind of where I'm overall at, is all of this stuff I have seen before in other games. So, and it all works in those other games. That's why I'm not like really shitting on Everstone, but to me, having played all those other games, it's like, well, it's kind of another Euro. And I'm in this position where it's like, well, nothing here is glaringly bad. Everything works. But because it's a bunch of different mechanics from other games, it's like, well, I've seen this before, so nothing is truly exciting for me. And this is not necessarily Everstone's fault, or the designers, or designer, Sam McDavitt. That's not his fault. It's just that I'm in this Euro position where it's like, it has to really wow me. It has to basically be like, this is all 100% unique, or just popping off in a way that I vibe with. And it doesn't do that. Like, whenever you are doing your action, like, there's thought in everything that you do. Like, whenever, even from the very beginning of setup, you have these setup relics, these starting relics that you choose to either slot in, and that's going to immediately make one of your 4 actions better. One you're going to keep, which means you're going to try and repair it, and one you discard as your starting resource. That already has a lot of decision making in there. There's a ton of relics, and some of the actions are really cool. Others are, I mean, everything is like relatively useful. And so whenever you're actually planning, like whenever you're planning on going up on a track or which area you want to go visit to do its special location action, there's thought behind it all. Like, this is a very, very solid Euro game. I'm just kind of like, Like, there's something in the game called Leroy's Looking Glass. And here's, before I actually talk about these cards, because I have them specifically pulled to talk about them, you also have personal quest. You have a starting quest. Now, the starting quest is the same for everyone, and I actually kind of was like, that's kind of stupid. I like when everyone's starting quest is a little bit different. But I guess you have that starting quest to really kick off the reputation, and you also start with the personal quest, and those are different. So you have those, you have caravan upgrades that are really powerful that you can get through a variety of ways. There's nothing here that's really absolute luck. Oh man, if I had that ability, like, I'd really pop off. It doesn't really have that. I mean, there are relics that definitely can swing in someone's favor. But the only luck is honestly whenever you do the harvest action. But even then, the harvest action you might want to do not necessarily to find a relic, but to get the benefits of not finding a relic. Because you have these 3 dice on every single relic card. There are these 3 numbers, and you roll these dice, and you're trying to get the die value equal to what's on here. So this is a 6, 5, and a 1. Well, I rolled a 5, 3, and a 2. It's like, okay, well, if you have the workshop action, you can actually spend a variety of gems to mitigate and modify those dice, as well as the back of the relic deck has a free tool that you can use that also might give you a benefit, either give you +1, -1, or completely flip a die face. But when you harvest a relic and you draw the top card, you actually immediately get to either sell it for its sell ability or slot it into any one of your workshops. That's really powerful. Or if you don't get it, or you choose not to mitigate it, you actually get to choose any 2 dice, add them together, and move up on one of those influence tracks equal to those 2 dice values. 2 to 5 lets you move up blue, 6 to 8 is yellow, 9 to 12 is red. And then the remaining die, whichever track you moved up, that's how many gems you get. So you could choose to do the 2 and the 5 just to move up on the blue track, and then get 5 blue resources. And then, if you happen to have the Thelonish, it's like, oh, well, great. Because that was underneath my Explore action, or my Harvest action, I can use those 5 blue now to spend to place an influence and gain a reputation. So you actually do get tons of combos in this game. The beginning of the game is kind of slow. I feel like that I actually kind of like the idea of first to 10 reputation will end the game, so it's kind of a race instead of first to have the most victory points, or first to get all their influence out on the board, or first to get 6 global achievements, or whatever it is. It's first to 10 reputation that will trigger the end of the game. I like that. But the beginning of the game does kind of feel slow. Like, you eventually, by the end of the game, it does start ramping. You can have a max of 6 relic actions in one column, and if you are repairing relics in those specific columns, they have to go down into the relic spots of those columns. But if you're harvesting them, you get to pick. So you can really get a cool synergistic relic column, because you go top to bottom. And you have ways to relocate and stuff like that. I like the fact that the relic, or the caravan board, has a workshop ability, so that whenever you do it, if there's not a relic there, you actually get the workshop action, which can be super beneficial. Like the one for Explore lets you spend a yellow to place an influence token out on the spot. And I like how you can spend, or how influence tokens in those spots give you a location bonus anytime someone goes there. So if someone goes to this spot, it's like, oh, well, in this game, 2 people had 2 influence in that, meaning they're both going to get blue resources. And what's also interesting is that whenever you go to a location, you do all your stuff, but then the locations actually swap out. There's these outer limit areas that will cycle between these actions. And each location action is really good. Like, for example, this location, you have to spend 6 gems of the same color to get a reputation point. But that can't be spammed. Like, you can't get this engine where it's like, oh, before I even do the exploration action, I get 6 of the same color. I'm always going to go to that spot. You can't do that, because once you use it, it gets cycled out, and there needs to be 2 more exploration actions before that one comes back. Now, you could build a plan around that, but that is something that you could do, but you can't spam it to ramp the game to an ending. So I like that. I think that's an interesting element. That's something that's kind of unique. But the game also, like, it just has, I don't know what the theme is. You're a caravan trying to find relics. That's really it. The relics do have names. They do have unique art, but that's pretty much it. But it's a solid euro. Now, these relics, I would almost, because there's ones that have S's that are your starting resources. Also, there's these ones with a P on the back. I would probably remove the ones with a P, because there are cards in here that are called Leroy's Looking Glass. And this depends on if you like alternate win conditions. So this one is you win the game if you repair all of 3 of Leroy's relics in the same turn. And they're not that hard to do. Like, you need to have 6 yellow, 1 red, 1 blue, and 6 of any other color, and be able to place 2 influence. If you do that, so if you happen to harvest them, and because if you discover them, it says keep this relic. So yeah, it's gonna clog up 3 of your 4 workshop spots, but there's so many ways to expand your storage for relics that 6, 12, 14 gems is not that difficult to get. So it almost, I don't know, I feel like this is, I mean, yeah, other players would have to let you get this if it's out. If someone sees you grab one of these and there's another one available in the market, someone should automatically just grab that, just to either sell it, discard it, or slot it underneath in one of their relic columns, because it is so easy to do. But there is a chance that someone could be harvesting or drawing relic cards. There's ways to draw relics and could draw into them, and it's like, okay, now it's an even bigger race, but there's no player interaction really. Yeah, you can kind of bump spot people from exploration spots, but there's no stealing, there's none of that. So it's kind of like, okay, can you get to 10 reputation before I can get 14 resources? And I almost feel like these were included in the game kind of as a way, because 10 reputation still takes some time to actually get. Especially these global achievements are kind of, at least in my experience, they're not super easy to do. I mean, yeah, getting 3 caravan upgrades. Some are more easy than others. One is to have 20 resources. One is to get 10 resources in one turn. And then 3 of them are having 6 relics underneath the barter, explore, and repair action. But I feel like trying to get 10 reputation before someone has these 3, if they get these 3, it almost feels like it's a surefire way to win. Now, this kind of reminds me of something from Space Base. There's that ship where it's like, I don't remember the specifics on how you trigger that, but it's a do these specific things and win the game. It just depends on if your group is that if they like that kind of stuff, or if they'd rather win through the normal means of racing for 10 reputation. This would probably be my only negative. Now, in certain games that I've played of this, I've actually enjoyed having this because the game was taking way too long, and the actions and combos aren't interesting enough to warrant this game being like 2+ hours. So it's kind of like, all right, can someone please get to 10 reputation? And this is a nice kind of way where it's like, all right, hopefully someone didn't take it, so someone could finish that. Otherwise, it's not bad. Turns are quick, but it is kind of multiplayer solitaire. Like, it's like when I go to my barter action, the caravan upgrade is going to give me a thing. It's going to let me take a resource, draw a relic card, and discard a card. I get the discard bonus. Now I get to do my barter action. Okay, I'm going to move all the way back to Ignis, and then I'm going to buy a relic and slot that somewhere, and then I'm going to get the Ignis reward, and then if I have relics underneath, I do all of those, and now that's my turn. And in all honesty, there's almost nothing. I mean, in case someone's buying a relic that you're also wanting to buy, there's not a whole lot of reason why you can't just kind of already take your turn. One shout out I want to do, because I don't know if this is a first time designer. I'm going to look that up real quick. Oh, look, I already have Board Game Geek pulled up. So, Everstone by Sam McDavitt. I think this is his first design. So one shout out is the insert is actually really good, and on the side of the box it shows how everything is stored. So that's a really good job. And I think this game does have like room for expansions. I think like the fact that there's already a decent amount of explore locations. There's a decent amount of starting relics. There's some variants in the game that give you different like Ignis actions, and I think there's ways to give your caravan special abilities. They compacted a decent amount of stuff into this little box, and I think that might be one of the reasons why I ended up getting it. Was it was kind of this standalone game. Like, it wasn't this expansion, or it wasn't this grandiose, massive campaign game, or this bloated Kickstarter game. It was this self-contained Euro. And if this is the first time design, which is what I'm seeing on Board Game Geek, it's a very solid start. Like, I really don't have many complaints other than, well, I have specific Euros that I like, and all the ones that I've seen in this game, I've seen in other games, and I already have those other games, and I like those more. But I do like the idea of caravan. Like, there's another game about caravans called, Almanac? Is that what it was? Almanac's Peak or something like that? Dragon's Road. Is that what it's called? Something like that. It was about caravans. And I like this concept. I just wish this game was maybe a little bit more thematic, but I mean, it's a Euro, so it doesn't necessarily have to be. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think of other things that it does. One thing that I do find a little odd is you have these slots for your influence, and there are 5 spots, and each of them hold 3. And so anytime you have to place influence, you take it from a very specific spot, and once that spot is empty, like, it's basically once you place 3 influence, you now have an extra spot to store resources. That's perfectly fine. I don't mind that specifically, but it's like, why design it this way? Like, why have it to where you have to go in a very specific order? Besides the fact that, once you've done that enough times, you get a reputation for it. But it says like, hey, these 15 that you have are limited, except not really. Once you have to place resources or place influence to get a reputation, like for the relic cards or for completing personal quests, you just take them from somewhere else. Mainly you take them from explore locations, which is not horrible, because if you have a lot in one spot, you're the one that's going to get the benefit the most. But then as you start needing them to complete personal quests or global achievements, then you start getting less reward from those spots. But I don't know, I almost would have rather just had a pool of your 15 influence. The weird, oh, I have to do these 3 first, then do these 3, then these 3, then these 3, and hey, I get a reputation. It doesn't feel all that necessary. But it's very easy to place influence. Each spot has a limited number of influence that it can hold. So it kind of has a race element, but also those specific location bonuses aren't that amazing. They're really just for more more resources. So it's like if one person goes here, it's like, oh, the blue player is going to get 3 yellow, the burgundy player is going to get 1 yellow, and that's that. So I would like to see a little bit more interaction, like, because again, there's really not much except I took a relic you might want. Like, there's nothing. I mean, there's bumping, kind of. You can't really block anyone, so it is everyone kind of playing their own game. But that's pretty much it. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, I know I haven't been, like, really raving about this game, but I also haven't really been shitting on it. Like, I'm gonna give Everstone a 7. I think it's a good game. I don't think it does anything that's like a wow factor for me to be like, run out and get this game. But at the same time, I'm also kind of jaded on Euros. So I think this is a really, really solid, like, for a first-time designer, it kind of is a really solid starter to a Euro. The rulebook is formatted a little bit weird. Like, whenever I was learning this game, I had read that rulebook twice, and whenever I was first playing it, I still had to reference it, because for some reason, and it could have just been me, for some reason it just was not clicking. Because it kind of gives you a little bit of rules, and then it gives you setup, or it gives you a little bit of rules, and then it goes into the concept of the game, and then it goes into more rules. And when you're trying to reference something, like a great example is whenever you have an icon that says place an influence, it's like, okay, does that mean place an influence anywhere? Like, if I have an ability that lets me place an influence, does that mean where my caravan's at? Because that's what the workshop action does, is that the same icon for everywhere else. And what if I can't place an influence there? Do I just lose out on that ability? It's trying to find very nuanced situations like that are not easy to do. But the information is there. I've definitely seen way worse rulebooks. But I also got to give them props to the fact that the insert fits everything. And for those of you who are looking for kind of a starting point, not necessarily a gateway game, this is definitely not a gateway game, but kind of a little bit more meat to it, but then not so heavy. Like, I kind of put this before, like, the T-Series games, like before Board and Dice games. I think this is a very solid kickoff point. Because then once you play this and you play other ones, you might see the inspiration for this one. And I think that's a really good thing. Like, I'm not saying, oh wow, this game just has no originality. It has some unique stuff to it. And the fact that you can combo and do different strategies of caravan to try and get your 10 reputation, there is some meat here. I never felt like I was going through the motions of like, wow, this is clearly someone's first time designing. Like, it's a good game. So, that is my thought on Everstone, discovering Ignis. Let me know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.